Welcome back to episode 3 of the Sideline Surge podcast with two guys that never made it inside the white lines, talking about sports from the sideline. Myself, Dustin, and my co-host DJ here. DJ, how you feeling on this fine Friday after 4th of July? How's it going?
I'm doing great. I could be better. Absolutely went balls out through 4th of July. So that's the only reason. But I'm waking up, really good mood. Loving that we're doing this. Episode 3. First 2 episodes were an absolute kick, going right into 4th of July. And now we're on the other side of it. Couldn't be happier.
Couldn't be happier. You had fireworks. I didn't watch any fireworks last night. I'm going to be honest with you. Two kids, a toddler, and then a baby. We're trying to get them on, or the baby specifically, on a regimen and sleep training. So we didn't stay up for fireworks.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not a dad myself, so I feel like it's something that I guess I'm trying to enjoy before I have kids. Because I completely get it. My brother is in the same exact boat. He has 3 kids himself, and he's like, yeah, no, fireworks aren't really a thing right now, especially when they're younger. So yeah, definitely trying to enjoy it up. But I'm not popping them off myself. I'm not spending this money. I'll go to a fireworks show and watch them, but I'm not spending this absurd amount of money to go fire them off. I also don't trust myself too much.
Your money's gone like that when you light off a firework.
Yeah.
You might as well throw you might as well throw it on a college football futures, honestly. And that's what we're actually going to be talking about at the end of the episode. We are going to give you guys our favorite plays or favorite college football futures, who we like to win the national championship coming up this year. Because 1 month, next month actually, there is going to be football on. I'm super excited. My team is actually first game of the season, Florida State. So super pumped about that. But yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit more about college football. I want to talk about NFL really fast because I'm going to throw this game at you. And if you guys don't know, DJ has a YouTube channel, Boys on the Bench, where they do a lot of fantasy football content, also sports betting, PrizePicks content. So he's really in the weeds with fantasy football. And we're going to put you to the test today with our first game. We're going to have multiple games this time, guys. Because there's slow news days the last few days since we recorded episode 2. But for the first game, I want you to blindly rank these 5 wide receivers for fantasy football purposes. Okay. All right? And I think this is a good list. I think it's a good list. I wrote them in order. I'm not going to try and do you dirty or anything like that. I'm going to keep the same order I wrote. All right? Wide receiver number 1, Cooper Kupp.
Oh
Cooper
Kupp. Okay, that's a tough one. I think he has a lot of potential as a fantasy football wide receiver. I'm assuming we're going to talk PPR leagues. So if we're talking PPR leagues, then Cooper Kupp, I don't know how much I love him. I'm gonna put him at. I'll start in the middle. I'll go 3. He's a safe spot. I'll start with the 3 spot, and we'll go from there.
It's just so hard with Nakua there. Now it's like, okay, what's gonna happen coming up this season? It's gonna be interesting. We'll see. All right. Up next, wide receiver number 2, Drake London.
Drake London, give me 5.
5, Drake London. All right.
Yeah. I still don't trust this offense entirely. I know that we've got Kirk Cousins in there, but it's going under a new coach. Everything else, don't really love this right now. I'm not all bought in. I don't think that he's still going to be all that he's hyped up to be.
Does he have a better season than last season?
100%.
All right.
He's going to be a more consistent. He's going to find his groove. He's going to be a more consistent wide receiver, but I'm still not sold on him right now.
Deal. All right. Wide receiver number 3, DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh man, you better give me some 2 solid. You know what? I'll actually go with him at 2. I think Will Levis is coming in, quarterback there for Tennessee. I think that they've had a decent chemistry. Hopkins is an absolute dog. He's found a way. Even whenever he went to Tennessee this last season, I was like, why are you going to Tennessee? Right. And he found a way to get it done through all of the quarterback changes. So I think that if he has a little bit more consistency, I'll take him at 2.
All right. Deal. All right. Wide receiver number 4, Stephon Diggs.
That's tough. I love Diggs, but now he is entering this Houston Texans offense, which is loaded. They got Joe Mixon now at running back. They still have oh my gosh, Nico Collins, and it's just a loaded room. Tank Dell, I'm gonna put him at. I don't love this. I'm gonna put him at 4. I'm hoping you left me a banger. at 1. This is
All
an
right.
awful list, kind of.
All right. And number 1, which you have to take at the number 1 spot, Garrett Wilson. How do you
Take
feel
it.
about that?
I'll take it. I like it. We didn't really get to see how he worked with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, and I don't know how Aaron Rodgers is going to be. I'm skeptical myself. I am a Green Bay Packers fan, so I still and I love Aaron Rodgers. I want him to do nothing but the best with the Jets. Like I have no animosity towards him, but it is crazy. And I think that it's going to be good. I mean, we've seen Garrett Wilson tear up the NFL with Zach Wilson as his quarterback. Like you're getting
Right.
a massive upgrade in Aaron Rodgers, even an injured and depleted Aaron Rodgers. It's a massive upgrade. I'll gladly. I think that honestly, he is the number one wide receiver on that list. So I'm glad that I got him at 1.
Really?
I think
Okay.
that he's easily going to take it. Drake London is maybe my question mark at 5. So I don't know. Maybe switch Drake London, Cooper Cup. I think that that's maybe where I would go. I think if I had to switch any of those,
You put Cooper
yeah.
Cup 5, Drake London 3?
I think
Okay.
that that's kind of where I would move it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no. Good list. It's always hard. You never know what's going to come in those games. What team or what player is going to be next. So it's hard. You always feel like, oh, come on, there's got to be somebody better. So you kind of leave that one spot open. But it's yeah. I
Dude,
think that was a pretty
I'm
solid
glad,
list.
I'm glad I, yes, Sam, I'm glad I got Garrett Wilson there at 1. So
All right. Now, we're going to move into talking a little bit about baseball because there is a little bit of news in baseball, and then there's some news in the NBA that we want to talk about. But yeah, starting it off, the Yankees, who were basically the hottest team in baseball at the beginning of the season, have now just totally fell off planet Earth. Lost 3 straight, including 14 of their last 19 games. Absolutely insane from them. And sure, every team's got injuries, this point in the season and stuff. But I mean, the top of their line, the top 3 guys just steady produce, and then the rest of the team is just nowhere to be found typically. And they've had some tough stretches with starters and such. So they are really, really struggling right now.
yeah, and it does bring up. I mean, they're slumping. I feel like in the perfect time. It's we're a little over halfway through the season. The trade deadline is coming up. Now they're really starting to see, okay, what do we need to finally get figured out? These teams that kind of slump later on into the season, it's like we could have addressed this issue earlier. So the Yankees, like, yes, they are slumping, but I think again they're slumping at the perfect time with this trade deadline looming. They know what they're going to attack. They've got to get someone in that rotation. I mean, their rotation has taken a massive hit. And I mean, they still have such a solid rotation. It's a matter of when do they figure it out.
Yep.
But if they could add one more piece of that, maybe another solid hitter. I heard that they're really pushing the issue with this Vladdy talk and trying to get a trade for him. And
Dude,
if they manage to pull that off, which
dude,
money wise, I don't know how they would pull that off, but if they did manage to get this figured out, I mean, that's insane if they were able to find a way to pull Vladdy with their top 3 hitters, like you're saying.
I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. But
Yeah.
I will be honest. They better figure it out, and they better figure it out soon because they are. And I'm a Red Sox fan. Full transparency. I'm a Red Sox fan, but they are playing the Red Sox for 3 games starting tonight, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. Like this is the standings right now for the East up there. You can see Yankees have fell off. Baltimore started off a little rocky. It's gotten a lot better since they've now taken over first place in the East. Then the Yankees just steady on a decline. 14 of the last 17 games, as we mentioned. And the Red Sox kind of getting hot. I mean, their lineup, our lineup should not be anywhere near as good as what we're doing right now. And the wins we're pulling out. But if we take 3 from the Yankees, could get a little scary for them. As if the Red Sox were to slide into second place in the East, I mean, that'd be pretty wild based on the start that the Yankees had, their roster compared to the Red Sox in all angles. So they better figure it out for my Red Sox come looming and take 3 games from them this weekend.
Well, I was about to say, even if y'all just win the series and go 2-1, that puts y'all. It should put y'all, if I'm thinking of it right, but it should put y'all at the number 2 spot, and Yankees drop down to the 3. So I mean,
Well,
y'all immediately jump them. I mean, I know it's based off of the win percentage wise. I don't know if y'all's
yeah.
exact games. Oh, they're not going to match up. So it may not do that, but y'all will be win percentage very closely. So I mean, winning the series is going to be a massive jump in itself.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of the main news from the MLB right now. Just the Yankees on a decline. I love to see it. I have a friend that is a Yankees fan, and I give him crap all the time lately. And he hit the group chat the other day when they won. He's like, "How come you guys never say anything when the Yankees win?" Because we hate the Yankees. That's why. Uh,
It's simple.
yeah, it's very easy. Screw the Yankees, and I'm happy to see them declining. Real quick, want to slide over to Daily Grind Fantasy. As you guys know, kind of powered by Daily Grind Fantasy here on this show, the Sideline Surge. We're going to go ahead and use this tool to find value by comparing sportsbooks lines and odds directly back to PrizePicks. The best tool in the game, easiest tool in the game to use, right? What's the top plays right now? We have Luis Castillo under 32.5 fantasy score. We could see if DraftKings, if Caesars, if Bovada had a sportsbook or had a fantasy score market for these player props that make up hitter fantasy score, they would have this projected right around 28 fantasy score, let's say, give or take. And we get it at 32.5. So if you are judging by who is off in this scenario, we can see that three sportsbooks are kind of agreeing this should be set to 28. PrizePicks is a little bit too aggressive. We want to take the under of 32.5 on PrizePicks for Luis Castillo. And same explanation there for Cole Ragans, off by what is that, like 2-3 fantasy score as well, when comparing to those same sports books, right? So that's two plays off the rip that I like there. And then we are seeing some fading of the studs. I'll be honest. I use Daily Grind Fantasy every single day. I got Yike at 7 kills just earlier. Was 7.5 on Hot Streak. Another DFS apps that sets lines for these player props. 7.5. So I got a 0.5 lower on PrizePicks, and they were juicing it minus 230 to the over on Hot Streak. So I'll take that. And then obviously some more unders for some studs. Honestly, in these hitters right here. Aaron Judge 9.5. Otani 10. It's like you're fading a home run from these guys typically. If they don't hit a home run, likely they probably go under fantasy score, but I know they are studs, right? But that's kind of how it works. Luis Castillo, real quick, not to take over talking about this whole segment. I'm just excited and fired up about Daily Grind Fantasy as always. Luis Castillo, under 5.5 strikeouts, average odds of minus 140-ish. Let's say minus 138 is what it actually is. But all of these sports books are telling us, hey, this is given a pretty good chance percent to hit based on how they are pricing it in the market, right? You get this same play under 5.5 strikeouts on PrizePicks. Instead of minus 140, you're getting it at minus 119 when you play it in a 5 or 6 man flex here on PrizePicks. So you could toss these plays into a slip. It's really that simple. It also have a tool in the AI slip generator that builds out full slips for you to tail. So you don't even have to do this. You just go to the AI slip generator and boom, it will pop out a slip for you to tail. That's the segment on Daily Grind Fantasy. But if you guys want to build out a PrizePicks slip, go ahead. You guys can also use code SURGE for 25% off Daily Grind Fantasy, linked in the description of this video. Now, let's go ahead back over to our main screen here and continue talking about some sports. Top news from the NBA. I don't even know if we call it news. It is kind of shocking. Bronny gets his contract with the Los Angeles Lakers for the Los Angeles Lakers, not a two-way contract or anything like that. $7.9 million, $5.4 million guaranteed over 4 years with the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know why I just said it like that, but with the Lakers. Yeah, that's pretty insane for the 55th overall selection in the draft.
It is, and I think it goes back to kind of how what you were saying. Like, I mean, the pats on the backs just keep coming for LeBron. I mean, it's a massive contract for a very late round pick. I mean, I know that they have the team option in that final year, but I mean, still, even then, I mean, like, yes, roughly 8 million coming in at 4 years. I mean, like that's crazy. So 5.4 million guaranteed over that time. It's. Again, and I hate to keep being that person that says, like, it's just because of kind of who you know, but at the end of the day, it is. And the only thing that we can hope is that, he actually performs and earns that money and gets his second NBA contract, and he kind of shuts everybody up with it.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, to have that much money with the little production that he did have in college really doesn't make sense. It only makes sense because his dad is LeBron. And that's going to happen. That's life, as we've mentioned in a prior episode. However, if I'm not mistaken, last year's 55th overall pick didn't even get $1 million for a contract.
That's wild.
So that, when you put that into comparison, is absolutely wild. So
do we know roughly? Well,
I think
I don't even know.
It was 750,000 or 950,000. I can't quite remember. I should have looked that up, to be honest with you. But yeah, it was substantially less than what Bronny got.
That's crazy. And I was just curious if like the people around Bronny in the low 50s as well, if they've even signed their contracts as well. And they may not have, that number may not even be available at the moment. So I'm curious to see what these contracts would come in as, you know what I'm saying? Like just seeing these people that drafted were ahead of him, and he's like, no, dude, I'm averaging $2 million a year. Like, kind of is what it is. So
the Lakers also just said, we don't care what you guys think about this selection. We don't care if you think it's because of LeBron or because we want him, etc. They just doubled down and was like, hey, we're going to give him probably the most 55th overall money ever. And that's what's going to happen, straight up.
They have walked themselves into a corner, and that's going to be the new expectation for them. You know, every time you get drafted to the Lakers, you're getting a check.
Yeah, maybe so. Big check. Bronny got it. You know, that's what they're going to start hearing.
Yeah.
All right. From there, I think that's really all the news in the NBA for what it is.
I do have a game for you. So I do kind of want to keep it NBA.
All right.
And I want to do the blind rankings for you. Kind of speaking a little bit about the Lakers, there's a current top free agent, and that's DeMar DeRozan. So I'm going to give you 5 teams, the blind rankings. And I just want you, again, you know the rules. We're going to go through this. Since we just talked about the Lakers, I do want to start with them. So 1 through 5, we're talking DeMar DeRozan. There's been a lot of talk of him going to the Lakers. Where do you rank that spot for him going there?
So landing spots for DeMar DeRozan.
Correct.
Lakers. For him specifically, or the team, that's what's like. I'm kind of like.
I'm gonna say it more for the team. Like, what makes the most sense for the team?
It's hard not to say number 1 for the Lakers, only because they need somebody. They need a spark. They need to do something in free agency. Like, that's kind of like my gut. But like, as far as meshing with the team, I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go. I really want to say 1, but that's kind of it's kind of a too easy of an answer, I feel like. I'm going to go 2, just in case there is a team that I like better.
Okay, so say he returns to the Chicago Bulls, number 2.
I'm gonna say 4. I'm just gonna say 4. Because we know what he is there, and I know that they got moving pieces going on right now as well. I'm just gonna say 4.
Okay. Charlotte Hornets.
Oh, 5. I mean, that's I'm getting agreed. I'm getting personal now. I don't want to see him on the Charlotte Hornets. For just many reasons. He doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, I mean, and like, obviously there was the idea of the pairing of Miles Bridges, who's currently a free agent right now, and I think he's waiting a lot of stuff out to see where he wants to go. But okay. LA Clippers.
Clippers. Oh, I want to put that number 1. I want to put that number 1. I think that could do well, but also it could blow up again and just be like the Paul George situation. I mean, you get another stud in there with that lineup, and then they don't do anything with it. So I'm going to say number 1. I personally wouldn't mind seeing that happen. I'm going to say number 1 for the Clippers.
Okay, last team, that would be the Golden State Warriors.
Ooh, and that's going to have to be my 5th spot?
No, 4th, I believe.
No,
third.
Okay, I'm happy with that. Yep. They could use a guy of obviously after losing Clay to replace some production. They got a bunch of little key pieces, but could they get another stud? It'd be nice for them. I think that's a good list. I think that's a pretty
Yeah,
damn good list.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of because I really want him to go to one of the LA teams. I think that makes the most sense not only for him but also as organizations. So I kind of wanted to throw Lakers at you and see where you went one or two, and then kind of seeing where the Clippers went. Because I mean, obviously those are going to be the one or two options. So I was curious on which one you were, where you were gonna, how high you were gonna rank the Lakers there.
Yeah, and I could have went one probably, right? I kind of tried to be a
Yeah.
little bit different just because that is like a layup almost. But I actually not really thought too much about DeMar to the Clippers. Wouldn't mind seeing that one bit. Like I said, who knows what they'll do with it because they just continue to underperform. You can't get the job done, even though you have some studs over there. But yeah, I like that game. Is that going to wrap up NBA for us?
Yes, that's all I've got for the NBA. We're
right.
still waiting on some of these free agents to go somewhere for some more news. So.
Right. Yeah. We'll probably next few days. Hopefully, we'll get some more news. So I told you in the beginning of this episode, I was excited about football season starting. I mentioned a little bit of college football. I think that just to kick off the excitement, because now is when I start listening to my fantasy football podcast. I start listening to my FSU podcast. I start really getting into it right around this time every year. Like I tried to hold off because I it's just torture if you're listening to fantasy stuff or stuff. Or trying to get into it because it's like we're still so far away. Like it hurts sometimes.
Yeah,
so I wait a little bit. I try to hold off as much as I can. I'm starting to get into it now because it's next month. All right. But I want to talk about college football national championship futures and what you think, who you think is going to win, who you think has the best chances. If you have a long shot, I'm also going to pull up the sportsbook screen at OddsJam. If you guys don't know OddsJam, you can line compare across the sports books to find the best value as well on apps or on the sports books like FanDuel, DraftKings, Circa, BetRivers, Bovada, BetOnline, all the big sports books, Bet365, etc. And you can line compare to see where you can get the best odds because line shopping and getting the best odds over the long term is how you are going to be profitable playing these plays. So I have it up. The top 5 teams in order of favoring to win the national championship are going to be Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, Alabama. And if you can see on the screen, you can see kind of what their odds are to win the national championship. You have a team that you first off, remind us again, what is your favorite college football team?
Do you really have to do this to me?
Yes.
It's the Baylor Bears.
I don't see them on this list.
They're not. And you probably got to scroll for a 24-hour period in order for us to get on that list. So I'm not even sure if sportsbooks are making lines for us. So yeah, no, it's the Baylor Bears. It's the season, whatever we have now. Hey, it's open for grabs now. I mean, we had UT and OU leave the Big 12, so like the top dogs are out. So I mean, it's open. Baylor's still not going to compete for it necessarily, but it's open. It's there for us. So,
all right,
that is my team that I root for, though.
I'm gonna start us off. I think it's pretty obvious, especially when you're looking at the odds and who's favored. It kind of gives you a telltale sign of who has the best chance to win. But I truthfully think I'm not taking Georgia. Georgia's great. Georgia deserves to be right around where they are, give or take. And every season they're going to compete, right? I think Ohio State and Texas, unfortunately, I know you hate Texas, are the 2 teams that have a real shot to win it this year. Texas, though, in the SEC now, we're going to see the big boy schedules. And we'll see. I personally think Ohio State is going to get the job done. And I should look it up. I have a slight futures already placed on Ohio State. If I'm not mistaken, I got it plus 550. So I've already got pretty good value. You can see the average odds is plus 385, let's say. So I already got some good value on Ohio State for a future to win the college football national championship.
That's nice. You got in early on that game then.
Yeah, I got in. I got in a little bit earlier. They ended up getting some really, really good transfers. They got Judkins from Ole Miss, running back over there, who's a stud. Which he came to Ohio State, and that definitely helped the odds there.
Yeah. See, and looking here, I mean, like, yeah, you're saying I'm not gonna do the Texas strain. I know that they're gonna be good. They've been good forever. They kill the recruiting game, they kill the transfer portal, like everything there. It's a very nice school. Like if I was a player, like I would be enticed to go there. But kind of living in the area, being a Baylor fan, it's just like you grow to just kind of hate some of these teams. I think they have very good odds. I am not picking them though. I'm actually going to go for the team under them in Oregon, and I really like them. This is a high-powered offense. They killed the transfer portal. They had the number 2 overall rating, and their transfer portal. They pulled the 5-star wide receiver from A&M this last year. So I think that they have a really good shot. I know that obviously the Pac-12 and everything, oh, not there anymore. Like they're entering a brand new conference and having to figure out their schedule. So I'm interested to see what they do. But now with the 12 team league, I think that, or tournament, I think they have a really good shot. I mean, it obviously depends on where they end up in all of it. But I think that they're going to get a pretty high ranking if they can continue to dominate. Have a very good team ranking wise. Transfer portal, everything else. Love them. And we're getting what, nearly plus 1,000 odds, plus
Yeah.
845
Well,
average.
I was gonna say that you can get plus 1,000 on Bet365. You see, OddsJam compares these lines for you. It tells you what's gonna be where you can get the best odds. You're getting plus 1,000 when the rest of the market's right around plus 850, plus 845. So if you're gonna bet this, I would say if you have access to Bet365, bet it there. Same thing with Ohio State. If you want to jump in Ohio State, I actually got plus 500. I just looked. So you can get close to that plus 450 here when the rest of the odds are plus 385 ish. So definitely something you could do here on OddsJam to line compare and find where you get the best prices for your college football futures. If I was going to give a long shot, if you were going to give a long shot, who would you give? You know what? I bet
Given
you
a launch,
real quick. I bet you there is so many wagers placed on Colorado plus 30,000, plus 25,000 to win the college football national championship. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But people just love it. People love the Dion hype. People want to be in for the Dion hype. There's probably so much. It's not gonna happen though.
I mean, I do think that he's building something really good there, but I do think that he's a couple of years removed from actually being in this title contention before we're actually taking it serious. But yeah, I think for us to say that he's actually going to compete for that national championship, I mean, he may be one of the first teams out of the college football playoffs, not like not making it in, like the first 4 out, or the last 4, however you want to say it, with the basketball.
Right.
So there's going to be teams left out, and I think that Colorado's going to be pushing that number depending on how they play this season. But yeah, there's no way that they're competing for it all. Who's your long shot though? You have
If I
one?
had, I'm not gonna lie. I guess they're not super much of a long shot, but I think Clemson could have a bounce back year this year, and they're in the same conference as my beloved Florida State. But I think that they could have a bounce back year this year with Cade Klubnik getting another year under his belt at quarterback. At Miami, they're never gonna be back. I'll be honest, but yeah, I like Clemson. I had to do a little dig at Miami for no reason there. It's my fault. But yeah, Clemson plus 5,000 Bet Rivers. If you can get plus 5,000, that's really good odds when
Why?
comparing to the market. Plus 4,000, so 1,000 points difference there. If you can get that.
So if I'm given a long shot, and it's gonna be Oklahoma. They have a very it's a very small chance, and we're talking long shots, but they did get this 5-star quarterback, Jackson Arnold, who
Yep.
I love. So he's going to come in and command this offense. They're going to be high scoring. I think that was their issue last year, even in the Big 12. They struggled with consistency on the offensive side. If Arnold can do that and figure that out with Venables kind of heading this team, I think that they can do it. And if they can start to get some momentum, right now they have, I think it's the second hardest schedule in all of college football. So if they can even figure it out by time they get to, if they are able to get themselves into the college football playoffs, I would imagine that section of their schedule is a little bit easier than probably what they just went through. They're going to go through a 5-game stretch of like highly ranked teams. I mean, they're in the SEC now. So if they're able to figure that out, they'll probably lose a game or two during that, but that's okay because they're playing these highly ranked teams where if they lose those games, their rankings probably aren't going to drop too far unless it's an absolute just slaughter. So I'm excited. I think that they're going to be a lot better OU team than last year with this new quarterback coming in, Venables only getting better through the transfer portal and all of his recruits. So that's my long shot. Where are we getting them at? What are their odds?
Yeah, so we get them at plus 8,000 on Bet Rivers. No, actually, it's funny because I made up Clemson on the fly, just like looking at these few teams here, and I was also looking at Oklahoma. I almost went Oklahoma, steered away because of that SEC schedule. Clemson, obviously, in the ACC, a little bit weaker. So I like those chances. Mine's plus 5,000. Yours is plus 8,000. We'll see. Hey, we'll see. If you do want to check those out, Bet Rivers, if you guys got access to it. But to end off the podcast, like I said, there's not too much news. I did want to do, I'll call it a game, but just have a little bit of fun with this one. If you guys are excited for the College Football 25 video game coming out very soon, I think July 19th, if I'm not mistaken. I can't wait to get my hands on it, number one. But if you're excited about it and you haven't been keeping up the news, well, you're going to find out the top 10 loudest stadiums in the game that EA has ranked them. And I want to do this. I know you haven't actually seen the list yet. So I wanted to give you the name of the team in the stadium, and then I want you to put where you think EA put them on this list. All right?
Okay. Right. So we're talking loudest stadiums.
Yes.
This is going to be okay.
Yes.
This is going to be a lot of. I feel like there's going to be a lot of SEC teams. It's got to be.
We'll see. All right.
Out.
So this is where you think that they put them. So sorry, I'm gonna write it down as we go. So let's do Alabama.
Alabama. Okay. They're definitely got to be a top 3. I don't want to say 3 though. No, let's do 3. We'll go 3. All
right. Alabama.
2 teams that I think are a little bit ahead.
Alabama 3. Let's go Oklahoma.
Oklahoma? Oh. Let's go. I'm gonna need to pull through for this futures, but I'm gonna go 8.
All right. Let's go Penn State, Beaver Stadium.
Penn State. They do have a good base. I don't know if they're necessarily better than. I'll go 9.
9. Let's do Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, UF, Florida.
Oh. Dang. Okay. Do I want to go 7 or 10 here? I'll go 10. I'll go 10.
Okay. All right. Let's go Wisconsin. Camp Randall Stadium, Wisconsin.
Okay. I was hoping you were gonna come up with that one. I'll 5.
5? All right.
4 or 5.
Let's go Texas A&M, Kyle Field.
1. Absolutely. I've been to that stadium. It's absolutely crazy. So I may be a little bit biased on that stance, but 1 for sure.
Georgia Stadium.
What do I have left?
So you have 3, 8, 9, 10, 5, 1 already taken up. So you could go 2, 4, 6, 7.
I'll go. Oh man. We'll go 6.
6. All right.
I think they're still. I can't remember the teams and the places that I've got left. I know there's one that I want at 2.
All right. We have Doak Campbell Stadium, Florida State.
Whatever the last ranking is. The lowest ranking.
You had, I believe, 7.
Let's go 7.
All right. 7 it is. Boom. Tiger Stadium, LSU.
2. That's who I wanted at 2.
2.
Okay.
And then Ohio State would be.
Is that the So the last team.
Yep, would be
4.
your number 4.
What do I have left?
I think that should be it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dude, you absolutely rocked it. You crushed it.
Did I?
I kid you not. I kid you not. You absolutely crushed it. Here's the top 10 toughest places to play. You have Alabama at 3. They're 2. You have Oklahoma at 8. They are 8. You have Penn State at 9. They are 6. You have Florida at 10. They are 10. You have Wisconsin at 5. They are 7. You have Texas A&M at 1. You got that right. Georgia off by 1. You had them at 6. They are 5. FSU you had at 7. They are 9. LSU you had at 2. They are 3. And then OSU you have at 4, and they are 4. You were right there. That was damn good. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. That was great. That was definitely good.
I was going to say the top. I knew the top 3 had to have been the Texas A&M, Alabama, LSU. Like, I just didn't know the order, but I would have always chosen Kyle Field number 1. Like, that was never going to be a thing for me. So it was always the Bryant-Denny and Tiger Stadium.
Yeah,
that was kind of a question mark.
I feel like oftentimes it's Tiger Stadium and Kyle Fieldhouse, Kyle Field. Kyle Field kind of interchange with a lot of people I see online, at least, ranking stuff like this.
Right, and that's why that was where I was at too. So it's surprising that they came in at 3.
Yeah,
so they weren't 1 and 2. So that's why I went with Kyle Field, because I've actually been to that stadium and it was pumping.
I mean, nothing like ESPN or maybe even EA with a little bit of Alabama favoritism in their blood. So they had to get them, sneak them in the top 2. So yeah, three SEC teams coming in the top 3 there. 4 out of the top 5 absolutely dominating the loudest places to play. Nothing like it down in the Southeast. But all right, I think that is going to be it for episode 3 of the Sideline Surge. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the games. If you guys made it this far, make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. You guys can check out Daily Grind Fantasy and Odds Jam linked in the descriptions below of this video. That is going to be it for episode 3. We love you guys.
See y'all next time.